This might be very controversial and might anger maybe the both of you and a lot of our subscribers, but my stock is slightly down.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Boleros. I'm here with Gab and Maui. Hello, guys. Welcome back.
Yes, after a very good weekend of Pinoy Liga basketball. Thank you to Sir Benny and the Pinoy Liga staff for accommodating us.
And the first time na all three of us were on the venue, and we talked to some of the fans, some of our listeners out there. So you know who you are. Thanks. It was nice meeting everyone and talking to everyone then. So we're going to talk a little about that Pinoy Liga weekend and the games that we had last week. But we're going to talk about it in a different format. So we're gonna do stock up, stock down. Kinda, if you know yung ballers versus boleros natin, it's kinda similar to that. But I'll ask our dear friend Gab here to explain. Ano ba yung stock up, stock down? Please share with us, Gab.
So stock up, stock down is for example, we kind of have our investments in certain players in certain teams, and we might have invested a lot of time watching these players, hyping up these players. So right now, after a few games in Pinoy Liga, we've seen some UAP teams, not all. So what's our assessment of these players or these teams that we've put some time into to watch and assess? Are we high on them now? Is our valuation of them higher than where we started, or is it lower now compared to where we started? I want to create an example, but for example, our dear friend Mason Amos. We're all fans of Mason. Are we up on Mason or are we down on Mason based on his recent performances? So that's only an example. I'm not saying we're down or up or on Mason on any way. I'm just saying that's an example of how we're gonna go about this. So they're not exactly boleros, like they're losers by any chance. But what do we see coming into season 87? For these players and teams.
Okay, let's get started. So let's start with something good, diba? So let's start with stock up. Maui, why don't we start with you? Sinong player, coach, team, whatever, are you high on recently?
I'll have to say it. Despite siguro yung expectations is very high, I'm stuck up on Kevin Kiambao. I'd say two stock up players, but I'll start with Kevin Kiambao. I have to say, first game of Kevin Kiambao.
May tataas pa yung stocks ni Kevin Kiambao.
May itataas pa.
Yun nga sasabihin ko, may itataas pa ba yun?
May itataas pa. I mean, we have from all of the off seasons that we've seen, there will always be an upside to Kevin Kiambao. And my early observations from last Saturday's game by Kevin Kiambao showed me that there's an upside coming. If you watch season 86 last year, si Kevin Kiambao was still playing power forward at times sa LaSalle. This coming season, I expect him to play guard and forward for LaSalle. If you watch yung game last Saturday, he was exclusively playing at the 3 spot with LaSalle playing two bigs. Almost any time Kevin Kiambao is on the floor. I just can't explain it. Diba? Every off-season, we see something new from Kevin Kiambao. And I think this season we'll see yung improvement niya when it comes to yung quickness niya. And I think that's seen dun sa physicality niya, yung body type niya right now. I think Sam, I mentioned this to you when we were watching the game. Kevin Kiambao, diba? Kevin Kiambao looks a lot thinner slimmed down than last season. Despite all the videos that we've been seeing on social media that he's breaking lifting records and that this guy is just a workhorse. And I expect him to score more off the dribble. Kasi diba last year we saw him hitting a lot of 3-point shots off passes from Evan Nelly. You saw him create in the paint. But this season, I'll probably see him drive more to the basket with different arrays of shot, maybe some layups, maybe some Euro steps. I wouldn't be surprised to see Kevin Kiambao to see peak Kevin Kiambao, diba? I mean, we could say that maybe all three of us did not expect him to come back, diba, for season 87. To be honest, I don't know if he's really coming back for season 87 up to until now, diba? We don't know. Something might happen before the season. It's still a long way. But the early signs are encouraging, especially if you're a fan of Kiambao, especially if you want him to excel on the international stage and sa Gilas Pilipinas. His conversion to a wing and guard will unlock a whole lot of different ceiling for this guy. And lastly, I just have to give an honorable mention to Joe Golapa. Diba? Joe Golapa played a hell of a game.
Wow!
A hell of a game ng Sunday. I mean, grabe, meron pa siyang
It's just one game. Pero,
it's just one game.
That was a good game by Golapa.
Maybe I'm overreacting. Diba? Kasi NU was also playing a lot of big players during that game. Si Palacielo and si Padrones were playing 3 and 4 also during that game. So maybe I'm overreacting with Golapa. But based on what I've seen in the social media, I think people are excited what this guy can bring next season. I was surprised, especially when nag-dunk sa in transition. And I think this is very good for NU. This team is a team that thrives on its depth, diba? As a team, they never have stars. They usually have a ton of serviceable players. And having a player like Golapa, maybe if they had this type of Golapa last year when Padrones was out, maybe they could have been better. So this will also push both Padrones and Gab's favorite PJ Palacielo to play better. So yeah, I was excited.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah, I would say Maui. I would say na Golapa played better than Padrones and Palacielo against La Salle. It's just one game, pero I see where you're coming from, Gab.
No, I just wanted to bounce off
before you move on to your stock up pick.
All right, I just want to bounce off Maui's point. It's good that you mentioned yung scoring or creating from the perimeter ni KQ because I think yun yung next step. We saw this in the finals against UP. He had a hard time beating UP's guards off the dribble, specifically si Harold Alarcon, who guarded him most of the time or a bunch of times in games 1 to 3. Diba? He would try to attack from the perimeter yung with his handle, but it wasn't tight enough. No, nahuhuli siya ni Harold eh. No, he's much bigger than Harold, so Harold does have that advantage in foot speed, and medyo halata na shaky pa yung handle ni KQ on the perimeter. So I think yun yung next step. You mentioned a Euro step. I'm interested, man. If he can add a Euro step to his game, unstoppable na talaga siya going to the basket. I don't think anyone has the ability to stop a KQ once he adds a Euro step. Diba? You're worried about the Euro step. You're also worried about him dunking in your face. KQ, man. Siguro yun ngayon yung next level. Defensively, I'm not worried. He's still a very solid defender, both as a rim protector and as a help defender. Again, the question lang naman talaga kay KQ is he really coming back? He said he's coming back. He played in the Pinoy Liga this past Saturday. But there were still rumors that he's going to the KBL. Diba? I've seen on socials, man, that he might go to the KBL. So it never stops talaga. Siguro until first game ng UAAP season, hindi pa yung maka-relax sa mga Lasal fans eh. Alam mo yun?
Parang, diba nag-post pa nga ng picture na New York? Diba? Something to do with New York na naman. Diba? Diba?
There's always something. Every time KQ commits, something always comes up. So I'm sure Lasal fans are on the edge of their seats. Not until he plays that first game in UAAP season 87 will nakapanti na sila lahat na okay, si KQ nga na sa atin for season 87. But it's gonna be a ride for Lasal fans yung watching KQ. So now for my stock up pick, I'm gonna give a shout out. I'm gonna give a homer pick here. They've had a tough start to Pinoy Liga, 0-2 so far for our dear Ateneo Blue Eagles. But I am stuck up on Sean Tuano. Maui, you've mentioned him. We mentioned him in our past episode. Sean Tuano has bulked up, yes. But I think he's also gonna play a ton of minutes for this team. Simply because I think they need his skill set. He can score. That's his one very apparent skill set. He has an ability to score baskets, to drive, to hit 3-point shots, to get to his spots. That's very important because there is virtually, aside maybe Chris Kuhn and to a T, maybe si Ian Espinosa, but there is no ball creation, offensive creation on this Ateneo team. They have struggled on the offensive end in both games in the Pinoy Liga Cup. And Sean Tuano might just have to take a ton of shots. He might just have to say, give me the ball. Because honestly, there are times talaga when the shot clock runs down, no one wants the ball. Sean Tuano might have to be that guy. And it's just apparent na he's the only guy who can get to his spot, make a basket, make a play for himself or for others. The for others part, he still has to work on that. Sometimes he gets blinders and just attempts to score. But were times in the games in the game last Saturday where he tried to create for others. I think he had a corner 3 to LeBron Nieto, I think, or to Mason. Right? So I'm stuck up on Sean Tuano. Last year he didn't get any minutes, and I think I cut him in the luck maybe or not.
How dare you?
Prior to the season. No, I think I did. So obviously my stock was down on him. Obviously I was down on him in season 86. But now, given the construct of this Ateneo team and the lack of offensive creation, as I said, my stock is now up. I think he's gonna get a ton of minutes. He's bulked up. He just needs a little bit more experience, and a lot more confidence to take on that role of the guy to give your ball. Because honestly, after David Defonso left, no one has been that guy. There hasn't been anyone who has been that take charge offensive guy for Ateneo, and it's about time someone steps up to be that guy. I mean, if it's not gonna be Chris Kuhn, it has to be someone else. And if it's not, maybe it's Jared Bahay, yung once he finally arrives and plays for Ateneo. But I like what I see from Sean Tuano on the offensive end. I hope he can continue to develop. I hope he can continue to build his confidence. Shout out to Mason, who was high on him, who told us off air that he was high on Sean Tuano. And so I want to give a shout out also to Mason because I like what I see. Sam, Maui.
I like the pick. I like the Sean Tuano pick. I think Maui and I were a lot higher on Sean last season. Yun nga, I remember Gabby cut Sean. So, hoping na Sean gets to play this season. Pero he's been very aggressive so far in the past 2 games. Unfortunately, it hasn't converted into a win. So we'll see. We'll see in the upcoming games how well he'll perform then.
3-level scorer din siya, which is very optimistic to see that he can score from 3, he can score from mid-range, he can score at the basket. And he's not a terrible free throw shooter. Well, he's missed a couple, and I mean, by more than a couple, but I think he can build on that. So, the stock on Sean Tuano for me is really going up. Maui, you were saying something.
Yeah. Actually, honorable mention ko rin si Sean Tuano. For once, I decided not to go with the Blue Eagle. But yeah, much like Gab, from last off-season, we saw some glimpses. And then this off-season, we're finally seeing him get more consistent minutes, more consistent touches. So we'll see. We'll see how he performs, especially once Chris Kuhn recovers and gets more minutes and gets more usage. We have to see him play when Jared Bayo also comes. But yeah, so far, grabe, yung sa ano pa lang, transformation ng body ni Sean Tuano was you can really see that he put in the work. Maybe spent the whole off-season with Sean Kitevis, I would say. Sam, your pick.
Sean and Sean. Sige, with my pick, I have 2 top choices. Since Maui mentioned KQ, I think I'm gonna go with this pick. And may sense naman yung sinabi mo on KQ Maui, but I think it's another LaSalle player that has his stock a bit higher than last season. And we were talking about this guy Maui during the game. I'm gonna go with my boy Raven Cortez. My stock with Raven
perfect
Cortez.
game.
Perfect game.
Exactly. So if si Maui nag-overreact kay KQ or kay Gulapa during that game, I'm gonna overreact on Raven Cortez's game because he went up against the bigs of NU, di ba? Maui, you mentioned NU also threw all their bigs at LaSalle last Saturday, and Raven Cortez had a perfect game. I think if not top scorer, he was the second leading scorer because he was 7 of 7 from the field. I think he was 2 of 3 from the 3-point range. And Maui, speaking of the 3-point range, we were talking about Raven Cortez. Sabi ni Maui, alam mo Sam, itong Raven Cortez, he has the skills and the body and the height to be a Gilas player. Kailangan na lang maging magka 3-point shot. And a minute or 2 minutes after sinabi ni Maui, he hit his first 3-point shot. Tingin ako agad kay Maui, sabi. And si Maui was speechless. Parang, oh shit.
It
This
looks
is a
smooth
scary
too.
LaSalle team. Yeah, it looks like he's been practicing, diba? So, I'm excited for Raven Cortez for LaSalle, but also, tama ka, Maui, this is like a Gilas prospect because I know he was a Gilas, Batang Gilas prospect in the past. So, it would be also nice to have other young guys like Raven Cortez join the seniors Gilas team. So, I'm really high on Raven Cortez. And I know, Maui, you're high on him too. So, maybe you want to add anything.
Para makapahinga naman si Japet, di ba? We need that, we need more forwards, power forwards, who are mobile, you can hit outside shots, di ba? Para we don't want to see Japet like Asi Taulava playing in the national team until his mid-40s.
Yeah, that's true.
I just want to say, Raven Cortez has the softest touch of any big man in the UAP right now. Sobrang, his floaters, his jump shots, his inside stabs, such a soft touch for a big man. Iba. Nakakatuwa siya yung panoorin.
Pag-release pa lang ng bola, lahat tayo nagre-react na, oh, pasok yan. Yung release pa lang, alam mo na eh, no? Talagang pag si Raven.
Alam mo, kasi ang ganda ng arc, ang ganda ng spin ng bola every time he puts it up there. I'm glad that he's now officially part of the rotation. Remember, last season, he didn't start out as part of the rotation. He was like the third string big man.
Yeah.
It wasn't until his breakout performance against UE at the UST Stadium that Coach Topex finally decided, okay, I'm playing Raven Cortez as the backup. Yung Bright Nuanco, ginano there, si Raven Cortez na ang backup ko. So, I'm glad that they're finally deciding na start pa lang ng season, okay, you're the backup big man, you're gonna get a ton of minutes. And I hope he plays power forward too. He was playing a bit of power forward with Henry
position, yeah.
So I hope he does. I mean, if he could stretch the floor, create more space for KQ to work, or si Policarpio, LaSalle, they look. I just want to say from the game last Saturday, they look like they're so unbeatable. They're so huge.
Stock up buong team, eh, no?
Grabe. And I was telling you guys, I was like, I don't want to watch any Ateneo LaSalle game for the upcoming season because I really don't think this Ateneo team can match up with this LaSalle team. They're so huge.
Laki.
Coming from the game prior where Ateneo was playing primarily small ball.
Small ball the whole time, yeah. Scary. But speaking of mga teams na stock up kayo, I guess I just wanted to ask, meron ba kayong mga honorable mentions? Because I do have one. And for me, it is a team. I couldn't decide kasi kung player pipiliin ko or team. But for me, FEU, my stock is up on FEU. Kasi the expectation coming in, and we've been talking about FEU for the past few episodes, was that we have to manage our expectations, diba? They're not gonna perform. They're gonna be very young. They're gonna be very inexperienced. But as the Pinoy Liga season keeps going on, I feel like we're seeing slowly but surely improvements in the team. And the young players, they look like they're ready to play. Gab, I remember we were calling out Pasaol kasi first few games ni Pasaol, they were bad. I think the last few games, the last two games in particular, has been a lot better for Pasaol. Second pick, your favorite, your boy VJ Pre, he looks like he's ready for the seniors team. I really thought na he would be undersized for the seniors, that he wouldn't be as dominant. But so far in the Pinoy Liga, at least, he has done well, and he's been a very solid contributor. So, mas sobrang baba kasi nung expectations ko for FEU this coming season, losing a lot of their players. They're having a new coach, a new system. But I like what I'm seeing in such a short span of time. That's why honorable mention sila for me. Let's
To add
go
about
next with Gab.
to add up to your point about FEU, Sam, I do like also where the other guys are positioning themselves on the court and how the other guys are playing. One guy, si Luke Felipe, it looks like he's gonna be part of the rotation for this upcoming season. A lot of our FEU subscribers are saying that he's kind of a 3-and-D player. I haven't seen the 3 yet because he hasn't hit it consistently yet. But he's getting a lot of looks from 3-point range. Mainly because he's the guy na nag-aabang lang talaga from 3-point range, from the penetrations of guys like Pasaol and Bautista. So I think he's gonna get a lot of open shots. Whether he hits them, that's another thing. I hope he does, because it will be a big thing for FEU if they can have some guy who can hit outside shots other than Joric Bautista. Another guy, si Maglasang, also looks like he's gonna get a ton of shots to launch from 3-point range. So I do hope na they do develop some shooting, those other guys. So yeah, yung tama si Sammy, ako rin, I was higher on FEU than you were, Sam, but I'm still high on them. So they haven't gone down or they haven't gone up significantly naman. Maui, you want to add anything to that FEU pick?
Yeah, I will temper my expectations for FEU because historically they've performed pretty well sa off-season. I think one or two of the last two off-seasons, they were even contenders. I think were Phil Oil, but they did not perform nung season. So for me, I would temper my expectations. This is a young team. This is a new coach. Much like Lasal, I would have the same spiel. Trust the process and see first what will happen. See how Sean Chambers imprints his system into FEU, and hopefully it can lead to a bright future. Lasal surprised us by winning the championship last season in Topex Robinson's first year. So yeah, nowhere to go but up naman ang FEU. So maybe they do. I'm hoping that they one of the things that they have to work on for me is that they should not start out slowly when it comes to season 87. I think that's where they really had a hard time during season 85 especially, and then in season 86 also struggling right off the bat. That would create a ton of pressure for them to perform. So yeah, just trust the process. This is a new age, the new age of FEU. You should be happy because at least yung players nila from the juniors division, unlike Adamson, didn't go to their seniors team. So at least they're building up a program. They're building up a program both in the juniors and seniors division, which I think is gonna pay dividends in the future.
Just to add dun sa homegrown thing, Maui, when I was watching their game against MCU nung Saturday, I pointed out to my dad that their starting 5 of Konate, Pre, Felipe, Pasaol, and Joric Bautista, I said 4 of those guys are from their juniors division. Only Konate is not. So that tells you all you need to know about their grassroots program in the juniors division. Yeah. All of them are now in the seniors division. Well, majority of them are now in the seniors division. So I'm very happy to see that for FEU. Now to your point, Sammy, of teams whose stock is up for me, all non-UAAP teams. Well, di naman all, but majority of non-UAAP teams are stock up for me. Specifically the NCAA teams. Now listen, I have not been watching NCAA basketball. I've not been following NCAA basketball. Mainly because kasabay siya na UAAP. And I only have a limited amount of time to actually watch that much basketball in a week. So, but I have been impressed. I talked about Mapua when I watched them against Ateneo and Kit Escamis. They were impressive also yesterday in their comeback win against Guangming, I think. But LPU, Lyceum must also impress me. Listen, they're undefeated. They've beaten FEU and they beat Ateneo. Their big man John Barba was pretty impressive. Just cooked Ateneo from all
week,
3 levels.
Pinoy Liga Player of the Week, John Barba.
Yep. From penetrating the basket, from hitting outside shots, from setting up his teammates. Incredible. And knowing that this Lyceum team essentially lost their main players. Diba? I think si Enoch Valdez is in the PBA now. So he was one of
Sean Umali
their main players.
Was also their big.
Sean Umali. so yun, diba? I've been very impressed with NCAA teams. I like how Mapua and Lyceum play and also sa San Beda. Very up-tempo basketball. A ton of 3-point shots. I mean, they know they're not big. They know they don't have a foreign student athlete, so they just get up a lot of threes. Very exciting. They're just changing my mind of maybe I might want to start watching some NCAA basketball. And honestly, it's easy because NCAA is free to watch on YouTube. So I just might.
Oh, hey. It's almost 30 minutes in rapid fire. Any other guys that you want to mention for stock up? Anyone else? I guess for me, if I were to pick an Ateneo pick, for me, Sean Quiteves, getting to watch his new stroke. We've been seeing him practicing his new stroke on Instagram, pero watching it live and in game, I think we were impressed. I think we left that game impressed. So worth mentioning lang for me.
The release is quicker, so
more smooth. Son. Yeah, ako, if I wanted to give one more shout out, probably it's gonna be Abadiano or Turkulas for UP. I think those two guys showed them second round last year that they're ready, and I think this season that they're going to step up a lot more. Especially Abadiano, I think. I think if there's a player that surprised me during season 86, diba, I would have put him sa cut list natin, one of the players that would have
been cut. Scary baby, you gave him that nickname.
Yeah, Scary Jerry. Scary Jerry has really surprised. And I think a lot of people in social media is calling him probably a breakout player for next season. And he can build up on what he did nung end of season 86.
Speaking of UP, sa akin, it has to be Terence Fertea. He hasn't really performed amazingly, pero just getting to see him play consistently, I think that's already a big leap for Terence Fertea. From not being listed on the roster in LPU, in Pinoy Liga, initially, at least nakakalaro siya ngayon sa Pinoy Liga. He's back to his old form of like chucking a lot of threes. Hopefully, he gets to play in the UAAP season 87. It's a crowded lineup.
That's the thing, Sam.
That's the question. But I'm happy for Terence Fertea.
I'm happy that he's healthy and he's playing. I just don't think he's gonna get a ton of minutes at all. Knowing how Coach Gold played.
Okay, moving on. Let's talk about stock down players. So, players na hindi naman necessarily na they disappointed you, diba? But like, maybe their stock is currently down so far this offseason. Pero it's still a long way to UAAP season 87. So, there's still a lot of things that can happen. So, let's start with you, Gab. Stock down. Kanino ka stock down?
I have two players, and they're both from the National University Bulldogs. And I am very sad to say this, that my stock is down on my first player, PJ Palacelo.
Oh! This is coming from
Yes.
Gab,
Whoa!
the PJ boy, the fanboy.
No, just let me just clarify. My stock is down not because I don't think he's bad. Not
Yeah.
because I don't think he's good. No, I still think he's good. I just don't think the breakout is coming. The breakout that
And
I wish
mataas
would
yung
come.
stock mo kay PJ Palacielo. Kung baga,
Yes,
nasa
don't-
PJ
don't
Palacielo
get me wrong.
Island ka eh. Diba? Nasa PJ Palacielo.
I still am on PJ Palacielo Island. I
So,
might
yung
have
permanent resident doon.
lahat ng mga lote sa PJ Palacielo Island na sa akin.
Binili
So,
mo na.
it's still there. But the value is going down
ka
because
ng isang lote, ganun. Isang lote.
Oo,
Maybe
mga
you're selling
ganun.
one lang.
But yeah, it's not because I don't think he's good. It's because I don't think the breakout is gonna come in season 87 or maybe even in any time in his time in the UAP. There are flashes. You know, there's always been flashes of brilliance from this guy. Every time I watch him, he has flash of brilliance. But I just don't think he's gonna be used in the way that I want him to be used. I don't think he's gonna get the opportunities that I think he should be getting. There were times in the LaSalle game he played as a small forward, but you know he was not playing like a small forward. He was like an extended power forward. Him and Padrones. I want him to take more threes than he usually does. He just doesn't take enough talaga. I think he can. He showed the ability that he can. I want him to get the ball in the high post and play make off of that, similar to what KQ does, diba? Especially season 85 and season 86. I want him to play make because he can. Mason Amos told us in our interview with him that he was one of the guys who gave him his welcome to the UAP moment, that he was a strong dude. Yung kita naman sa laro niya na malakas siya. He can score in the paint. He can defend on the perimeter and inside, but I just don't think he's not gonna be a breakout star by any means next season. I still think Coach Jeff Napa likes him maybe as a power forward and even as for most of the time as a backup center. I think he should play si Persano more as a backup center and move si PJ Palacielo to power forward. But I just don't think it's gonna happen. And they don't play make out of big men. They play make mostly from their wings and their guards eh. Yun ang problema sa NU eh. Parang you have a skilled big man but they still choose to play make from their guards and their wings eh. Which is not a problem. I mean, they have skilled guards and skilled wings. I mean, so that's how they choose to play. So yun, I mean, I still think he's really good. I still think he has a ton of skill. I just don't think na maging star siya in NU in the next couple of seasons. The other player that I was alluding to, I think you guys know who this is Omar John. Kung kay PC Palacielo, may island pa ako doon. Ay, may mga lote pa ako doon. Ako, binigyan ko na lahat sa Omar John Island. I'm sorry, Omar John, if you're listening, but Mo Diazana is a much better prospect as of now. He fouled out against LaSalle during the Saturday game.
But I
like
his hustle, no? Maganda naman yung hustle ni Omar John nung game na yun.
Maganda naman.
Nagpa-fouling tendency
during
fighting for his life.
Tendency. Fighting for his life. Because Mo Diazana's coming for him. But yeah, I mean, it's 2 straight Final Fours wherein he has literally shipped the bed in 2 straight Final Fours. He has not showed up against UP in season 85 and against LaSalle in season 86. He was a non-factor in both games. There are games wherein he's a very strong player, puts up numbers, inserts his will inside. Just at during bright lights, when under the brights, he just doesn't perform. And I don't think NU is gonna go up to the next level with Omar John as their FSA. I think Mo Diazana has a much higher ceiling than him. He's much more athletic. Better rim protector in my opinion, si Mo Diazana. I think NU has a higher ceiling with Mo Diazana as their starting center and as their FSA. So I'm sorry to all the Omar John fans and even to Omar John himself. And if he's listening, maybe take this as motivation. Uh, it just it's just a struggle to watch NU when Omar John is on the floor. Yun lang masabi ko. It's not the best thing. Mas maganda sila panoorin talaga pang si Mo Diazan. So those are my two players whose stocks are down. I hate saying PJ Palacelo's name, but I have to admit it. My stock is down on PJ Palacelo. Maui or Sam?
When reality six in ba?
Just to add dun sa Omar John pick, I mean, sad to say, NU has to pick one FSA, diba? That's the rule. So sorry na lang, one has to go between the two because right now they're playing both guys. But come season 87, they have to pick the better player, the better fit for the team. And maybe that's Mo Diazana. We'll find out. Maui.
Yeah. Ako, I have two players and both players have been plagued by injuries sa UAAP careers nila. And it's one of the reasons why I'm picking them also as a stock down. The first player is from Ateneo. It has to be Chris Kuhn. I think yung expectations ng Ateneo has been sky high on Chris Kuhn, especially after yung breakout niya nung a few seasons ago when they won the championship. I really think that this guy could be the next big thing for Ateneo, but somehow it hasn't panned out the past two seasons. Maybe you can blame it on the injuries to his shoulder and to a fractured foot. But what's concerning to me right now is it's already a few months before the season, and from what I've heard, he's still being hampered by that foot injury. So we have to think, will Ateneo be able to get a healthy Chris Kuhn come season 87? That's what I'm hoping for. Because if Ateneo is to contend, Chris Kuhn has to really perform, much like season 86.
Mm-hmm.
Where Chris Kuhn goes, Ateneo goes. In my opinion,
yeah, that's true.
It really a lot is really on this guy's shoulder, and I think he really wants to prove himself. It's one of the main reasons why I think that why he decided to go back for season 87, and I'm hopeful that he gets healthy. If not, then maybe we won't see the full potential of Chris Kuhn in the UAAP. My second pick also has been plagued by a ton of injuries. I think if may person sa UAAP na buong katawan nagka-injury na, it has to be Cholo Anonuevo from FPU. Yung expectations from Cholo Anonuevo right off the bat was very high, especially since much like si Andy Hemao, he was also training in the USA to potentially go to the NCAA or even higher. Unfortunately, due to him playing out of position, I really don't think he should play power forward, but that's been his main position in the UAAP, and a ton of injuries. We haven't really seen yung full potential ni Cholo Anonuevo unlock in the UAAP. It's one of the reasons why I was skeptical initially with LeBron Lopez in the UAAP, because I think that that UP will play him at the 4 slot. But unlike Cholo Anonuevo, LeBron Lopez as Francis Lopez has shown yung potential niya. You can see yung potential niya to transition to the wing position. He's starting to hit 3-point shots. You can see yung playmaking niya. But with Cholo Anonuevo, we haven't seen a lot of growth from him. It's a bit discouraging to see him play power forward, especially since I think he was playing shooting guard or small forward in high school. And yung potential, it's like he's like Kobe Paras. He's very athletic. You can see he's very long, tall. But unfortunately, we haven't seen yung development talaga niya. And is probably third or fourth season already in UAAP. Maybe this is the best of Cholo Anonuevo that we'll see. I'm hoping that he can still develop his game. Kasi he's a potential player also for the national team. That's something that I'm always looking forward to for these players. Any comments, guys?
Yung on Cholo Anonuevo, I don't think he has a chance to play the wing because VJ Perez kind of established himself as the power forward for this team beside si Mohamed Konate. I mean, they run a lot of stuff through BJ Perez. So I think once Cholo Ananuevo comes back from injury, I think they're gonna play him as the starting small forward. So maybe more as a wing player. So that's something to look forward to if you're FEU. For Chris Kuhn, I just think it's mindset, pare. I think he has all the tools to be a dominant scorer, playmaker in the UAP. There are just times na it feels like he doesn't want to do it. You know, at times,
The question is,
86,
magiging healthy ba siya for this coming season in 100%? Because last season, he wasn't 100% then all throughout, diba?
Tama ka naman, Sam. But a ton of it also is the mindset. There were a ton of games na you saw the potential of a takeover guy in Chris Kuhn. I remember that first UP game to end the second round, to deal UP their first loss. Chris Kuhn was so dominant on the ball. Diba? That guy na may kapal na mukha to just give me the ball, I'll create offense for everybody. Yun ang kulang na Ateneo. There's always been someone. And so far, there hasn't been any. He has all the tools. He's a guard. He's a guard with a 6'4", 6'5" frame. He can shoot from long distance, from mid-range, can drive to the basket. He just doesn't have a right hand, and maybe that's what's stopping him. But he has all the tools talaga to be a dominant scorer and dominant playmaker in the UAP. But for some reason, he doesn't want to take that leap yet. I'm hoping in this last season of Chris Kuhn, we get that leap. We get that potential that we've all been craving to see. I hope we see it talaga. Sammy, you were saying something.
Kailangan maging mas dupang. In my opinion rin, much like kay Gab, kailangan maging in choice. Filipino terms. Kailangan maging mas dupang si Chris Kuhn talaga. Sam.
Okay, so I like Maui's picks kasi I also pick someone that has been plagued with injury. And we've talked about him. I've mentioned him in previous episodes. Stock down ko just because of injuries. Again, I'm not saying na he's not good or anything, but has to be Josh Coronel for me. We were really excited. We knew he missed the first season already. We were hearing na he was doing well in practice. He was playing with the team already. And then we were expecting him to play in Pinoy Liga. And for 4 or 5 games in sa Pinoy Liga, he hasn't played yet. And we hear from like one of our subscribers or listeners na I think he re-injured himself again. So don't know yung extent of the injury, but malas din talaga. No? Malas din talaga si Josh Coronel. So we're praying for him. We're hoping he gets better. This is another like Batang Gilas player that really impressed us when he was in high school, and we're really hoping to see him get better and perform this coming season 87. And mataas yung expectations kay Josh Coronel. So I do hope na the injury is nothing serious, but so far yun, kaya siya stuck down because he got injured again. But hopefully we'll get to see him in Pinoy Liga or maybe in Philoil.
I agree with you, Sam, kay Josh Coronel. Yeah, I kind of agree with you kay Josh Coronel na my stock is a bit down on him. And if he doesn't play, he has a ton of competition on the roster for both minutes and for the roster spot.
That's true. And a lot of the UP guys diba? Are showing up. Lahat sila okay, solid so far yung laro eh. So mahirap.
Yun, diba? So if you're Coach Gold and Josh Coronel continues to not play, diba, will you put him in the lineup versus other people who have played? So, diba? So it's gonna be a tough call for Coach Gold. So hopefully we see him soon. I just want to see him play on the court. Maui or Sam, last word.
Any honorable mentions?
Honorable mentions.
I'll start.
Well, I'll say go ahead.
I think it's Adamson for me. We've talked about them all of season long. If I were to pick a team, it's Adamson. Lost a lot of key players, obviously, the end of the Jerome Lastimosa era. But also yung mga top recruits nila so far, they haven't really paano ba, had like a really good game. Although I think si Ronzon had a better game nung last Thursday. Top scored for Adamson, but they've struggled to win their games sa Pinoy Liga, just like Ateneo. And so far, we haven't seen much. But to be fair to Adamson, they're not playing everyone. Tapos I believe, according to dun sa Pinoy Liga commentator, I forget who said this, but I think si Adamson decided to split the Ronzon twin. So isang Ronzon per game or something like that, or per league. So we won't get to see both guys play. So medyo so far from what I've seen, stuck down ako sa Adamson.
Ako merong honorable mention, and this might be very controversial and might anger maybe the both of you and a lot of our subscribers, but my stock is slightly down.
Wag na, let's end this episode.
Hindi.
Go lang.
Kailangan sabihin eh. My stock is slightly down on Coach Tab. And here's my thing. I know it's medyo hot taking, but I am a bit down on Coach Tab. I mean, for last season the offense struggled, and I know he likes the equal opportunity offense thing, but I do want him to, put his players at a position to better score the ball. Because we've struggled on offense. Clearly not just struggle tayo sa offense. It's clear as day. I mean, we put up less than 60 points or less than 70 points in back-to-back games. Diba? Or games, less than 60 pa nga nung first game against Mapua eh. So, not that I'm doubting Coach Tab. I mean, he has 4 championships. Diba? So, but I'm kind of suspect on how he runs the offense and not empower someone to get the ball at a spot that he wants, because diba, he wants na yung bola umiikot, yung they run through the set, and it always ends up late in the shot clock, and the players out on the court kind of are put in a bind on what to do. The offense seems like that most of the time. So maybe it would be better to run more quicker offenses. I don't know because parang nabasa na ng UAAP and ng NCAA yung style ni Coach Tab. To me, they know yung mga actions that he loves to run, the sets that he loves to run. It seems like a ton of teams have figured it out, and it has led to a lot of very disappointing possessions on the offensive end for Ateneo. So that's just me. I want to see something different. I want to see players put into spots where they can easily score, they can get easy baskets. Because honestly, ang daming times na parang sobrang hirap yung Ateneo makascore. Like their baskets feel like there's so much effort involved in getting baskets. Now I just want a set na it gets them easy baskets. So that's just for me. I know it's way too early. It's just two games into the Pinoy Liga Cup, but it's slightly down. I mean, I'm very high on Coach Tab, obviously. I think he's a splendid coach, perhaps the best coach in the UAAP, but it's slightly down for me. Reactions, Maui up, Sam Santos.
I think coming from you.
No. If you were to ask me sa honorable mention ko, I would have to say it's Ateneo. It could be partially because of Coach Tab.
Ang dalawang ministang to.
No. It's not an overreaction. It's not an overreaction.
Joke.
I still think that Ateneo has the potential to make the Final Four, and who knows what will happen if they do make the Final Four. We've seen a lot of Ateneo teams surprised naman during the past, diba? But as far as Gab's comments on Coach Tab, maybe Gab's right. Maybe we don't have the right personnel to be able to run the offense that Coach Tab has had or has been employing in Ateneo the past few years. If we look at history, alam niyo yan guys, I always look at history. If we look at history with Ateneo, they've always had, if not the best, one of the best point guards in the UAAP. They had Matt Nieto, they had SJ Belangel, and then they had Padrigao. All three of these guys are mythical team members, or if not, that you can consider as top point guards in the UAAP.
Point guards, yeah.
Unfortunately for Ateneo, much like the comments of a lot of people, much like the comments of the alumni, Ateneo does not seem to have that pure point guard. Espinosa, I know he takes a lot of the blame. Ateneans are very mad at Ian Espinosa. But if you look at the game tape, he's just forcing to try to make the play happen. But unfortunately, they haven't been able to execute the right way. I think that's where Jared Bahay comes in. If Jared Bahay is able to perform as expected, and will be able to lead Ateneo and execute better on offense based on the expectations of players like Amos, Coach Stab, and maybe the alumni, then maybe this Ateneo team can surprise for season 87. But that's very big. That's very the weight on Jared Bahay's shoulder, I would say, is super big right now, because if he's not capable to do that, then definitely Ateneo will continue to struggle, because knowing Coach Tab, they will still run the same plays. They will still try to do whatever they run these past few years. My main concern lang talaga for Ateneo is, number one, Jared Bahay will be a rookie. We don't know if this Jared Bahay will be as good as Matt Nieto right off the bat. Padrigao and Belangel, despite them being very good, were not good rookies. That's something that's diba? We can all agree on.
Generally struggle, diba?
Yeah.
Rookies generally struggle unless you're a generational talent.
Yeah. Rookies generally struggle more, so guard rookies struggle more than big man, diba? Kasi big man can have a different effect on the game, especially if you're a defensive big man. Number two, it's really concerning to me that Ateneo, I mentioned this to you, Sam and Gab, nung Saturday, that Ateneo was one of the best third quarter teams in the UAAP in recent history, probably in the past 20 years. All Coach Tab teams were different teams after halftime. But it seems like yung Ateneo team the past two seasons, the team that comes out after is a lot worse than the team that has played in the first half. It's I don't know what's happening, to be honest, but it's really really concerning to me, because before we expected Ateneo to make the adjustments, and then it comes second half, this will be a different team. What's concerning to me is yun nga, this is a completely different team, and if Ateneo is to contend for the Final Four or even contend to get to the finals, they have to fix that. They have to be the same third quarter team they were during those years that they contended in the UAAP. Sam?
Wala na akong ma-add doon. I think just for
gulat ka, no?
Wala na akong masabi kasi yung dalawang True Blue Ateneans na yung nagsabi nun. So, to the Ateneans out there, let us know your thoughts. And let's end the episode there. By the way, sorry, one last shout out pala for Stock Down. Actually, more of bolero to eh. Hindi to Stock Down. Special shout out to Kian Baklaan, who teased us before the Lasal NU game. I think nag-comment siya sa post ng Pinoy Liga na it would be his first game for Lasal, his debut game against his former team, and that got me very excited. Sabi niya, first game or something like that, and then he didn't play. He was on the bench right behind us. So, Kian Baklaan, bolero ka. Bolero of the week ka for me. Pinaasa mo kaming lahat. That's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed that episode, please like, comment, subscribe, share with us your thoughts. Kanino kayo, stock up, stock down. And if you want to watch your team perform this Pinoy Liga Cup, go ahead. Just go to the Pinoy Liga Cup games, and who knows, you might bump into us there. Don't forget to say hi. We don't bite. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.